In Hollywood, some stars become legends not just for their talents, but for the incredible stories that surround them. Andre the Giant, the towering French wrestler and actor, was one of those unforgettable figures. Standing at 7 feet 4 inches and weighing over 500 pounds, Andre was known as the eighth wonder of the world. But behind this larger-than-life persona was a man who struggled with a dark addiction, alcohol. For Andre, his size wasn't just a source of pride, it was also the root of his deepest challenges. His condition, acromegaly, caused him to grow at an abnormal rate, leaving him in constant physical pain. To numb that pain, Andre turned to alcohol in an extreme way. His drinking was not just a casual habit, it was a daily struggle. In fact, Andre was known to drink over 100 beers in a single night, with some accounts claiming he could down as many as 119 beers in just 6 hours. His ability to consume such immense quantities became a notorious part of his reputation. While his friends and coworkers often found his drinking amusing, it was clear that it was a dangerous coping mechanism. Reports tell of him passing out in hotel lobbies, unable to even make it to his room. Despite numerous attempts by friends to intervene, Andre never seemed to escape his destructive pattern. His heavy drinking, combined with his health issues, would eventually take a toll on his life. Andre passed away on January 27, 1993, at the age of 46. He was in Paris to attend his father's funeral when he died in his sleep from heart failure. Doctors later confirmed that his immense size, coupled with his alcoholism, played a major role in his untimely death. Even though his life was cut short, Andre's legacy lives on. Wrestling fans and moviegoers alike still remember him fondly, especially for his iconic role in The Princess Bride. His story is a tragic reminder of how even the biggest stars can be brought down by their own vices. In the glamorous world of Hollywood's golden age, Cary Grant stood as one of the brightest stars, known for his suave charm, dashing good looks, and his ability to make every woman in the room swoon. Grant was a major player in classics like North by Northwest, Charade, and To Catch a Thief. Yet, behind this polished persona was a secret that Grant kept hidden from the public eye for years, a battle with alcoholism. Though Cary Grant was known for his carefree and charming demeanor, his personal life told a different story. He struggled with heavy drinking for much of his career, using alcohol as a means to cope with the pressures of fame and personal turmoil. However, unlike some of his Hollywood counterparts, Grant never publicly acknowledged his addiction until the 1950s when he turned to an unconventional method of treatment, LSD therapy. This form of therapy, where LSD was used to treat alcohol dependence, was still experimental at the time. But for Grant, it seemed to work. He later said that the experience was life-changing, making him feel free and bringing him newfound clarity. He even introduced some of his friends to the treatment, believing it had been instrumental in helping him regain control over his life. While Grant never publicly spoke about the full extent of his struggles, it's clear that his efforts to manage his addiction were successful, especially later in life. He was able to continue making films and enjoy his career, despite the dark battles he had fought behind closed doors. His drinking did not ruin his career, and he is often remembered for his ability to navigate the pressures of Hollywood without letting his personal demons destroy him. Cary Grant passed away on November 29, 1986, at the age of 82. His death, though sudden, was largely a shock to fans who had always seen him as the epitome of health and youthfulness. But even in death, his legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest actors continues to endure, as his films remain beloved by audiences worldwide. Joan Crawford was a powerhouse in Hollywood during the 1930s and 1940s, a woman whose name alone commanded attention. Known for her striking beauty, fierce performances, and commanding presence, she was a star on the rise. Films like Mildred Pierce and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane made her an icon of the silver screen, but behind the glitz and glamour, Joan Crawford battled a personal demon that would come to define much of her later life: alcoholism. Crawford's drinking began as a way to cope with the overwhelming pressures of her career and the emotional toll of failed marriages. Her addiction was something she tried to hide, but over time it became impossible to ignore. She often drank heavily, both at home and on set, and some reports claim that she would even hide bottles of alcohol throughout her house. When she traveled, it was said that she made sure to have a large supply of alcohol with her. Her drinking often led to volatile behavior, making her difficult to work with and straining her relationships. Her struggles were not just limited to her own battles. They also had a profound impact on her personal life. Her adopted daughter, Christina Crawford, would later pen the explosive memoir Mommy Dearest, in which she painted a harrowing picture of Joan as an abusive, alcoholic mother. The book revealed a side of Joan that many had never seen, describing how Joan's drinking led to violent outbursts and emotional neglect. Despite the turmoil in her personal life, Joan Crawford did attempt to change. In her final years, she gave up drinking and became deeply religious. She even refused medical treatment as she battled cancer, choosing to focus on her spiritual journey instead. However, the damage had already been done. Joan Crawford passed away on May 10, 1977, at the age of 73, but her legacy remains complex, both adored by fans and forever marked by the scars of her addiction. Her films, though, live on, cementing her place as one of Hollywood's greatest actresses. But Joan Crawford's story is a tragic reminder of the personal battles many stars fought behind closed doors, often in the shadow of their fame. Robin Williams was more than just a comedian. He was a force of nature in Hollywood, beloved for his quick wit, boundless energy, and ability to bring both laughter and tears to audiences. With iconic roles in Mrs. Doubtfire, Good Will Hunting, Dead Poets Society, and Aladdin, Williams touched the hearts of millions. But behind his infectious smile and comedic genius, Williams struggled with a deep and painful addiction to alcohol. In the 1970s and 1980s, Robin Williams' life was marked by heavy drinking and drug use. After his close friend, actor John Belushi, died of a drug overdose in 1982, Williams made the decision to quit drinking and using drugs. For nearly 2 decades, he managed to stay sober, finding new purpose and meaning in his life and career. However, in 2003, Williams started drinking again, believing he could control his addiction. What followed was a relapse that spiraled out of control, as his daily drinking took a toll on his health and personal life. Despite multiple stays in rehab and his attempts to stay sober, Williams' addiction remained a constant battle. He continued to make people laugh, but internally he was fighting demons that would eventually lead to his tragic end. On August 11, 2014, Robin Williams passed away at the age of 63. His death was ruled a suicide, but what shocked the world even more was the revelation that he had been suffering from Lewy body dementia, a devastating brain disease that can cause depression, confusion, and memory loss. Though his death was deeply tragic, Robin Williams' legacy lives on. His films continue to inspire and bring joy to people all over the world. He will forever be remembered as one of the greatest actors and comedians of all time. His struggles with addiction, though painful, only add to the depth of his story and remind us that even the brightest stars can be consumed by their own inner battles. Leonard Nimoy, best known for his portrayal of the logical and stoic Mr. Spock in Star Trek, is revered as a true legend in science fiction. His iconic role has made him one of the most beloved actors in Hollywood history, but his journey was not without its struggles. Beyond his fame, Nimoy battled with a dark secret, a serious addiction to alcohol that threatened to overshadow his career and personal life. During the height of Star Trek success, Nimoy found himself leaning heavily on alcohol to cope with the stress and pressure that came with being one of TV's most famous faces. While many fans admired his composed and calm demeanor on screen, the actor behind Spock was dealing with personal turmoil that led him to drink excessively. His alcohol use became a means of escape from the immense fame he was experiencing, but it soon spiraled out of control. At one point, Nimoy realized the gravity of his addiction. His drinking began to interfere with his personal life, and it became increasingly difficult for him to maintain control. The turning point came when he recognized he needed help. He sought rehabilitation and began his journey to sobriety. His decision to face his addiction was a crucial moment in his life, and it helped him regain balance and focus. Nimoy remained sober for the rest of his life, and he used his experience to inspire others. He often shared his story, encouraging those struggling with addiction to seek help, just as he had done. He went on to continue his successful career in both acting and directing, and his contributions to Star Trek remain integral to the franchise's enduring popularity. Leonard Nimoy passed away on February 27, 2015, at the age of 83, from complications related to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. His battle with alcohol was just one chapter in his remarkable life, But his legacy as a beloved actor and his triumph over addiction continue to inspire countless individuals to this day. Hollywood has always been a place of glamour, with stars who shine brightly on the big screen, capturing the hearts of millions. But behind the spotlight, many of these legends struggled with personal demons that often went unnoticed. The issue of alcoholism has plagued countless stars, from the golden age of Hollywood to modern-day icons, casting a shadow over their careers and lives. Ava Gardner, known for her wild lifestyle and captivating beauty, struggled with alcohol throughout her career. Her relationships, particularly with Frank Sinatra, were tumultuous, often fueled by alcohol and the pressures of fame. Despite the toll it took on her health, Gardner's talent and spirit remain etched in Hollywood history. Similarly, William Holden's career suffered as his drinking problem took hold, leading to isolation and ultimately a tragic death in his apartment after a fall. Despite their struggles, both of these stars are still remembered as icons, with their films continuing to resonate with fans today. Joan Crawford's story is another stark reminder of the devastating effects of alcohol. Her abusive relationship with her adopted daughter Christina, detailed in Mommy Dearest, revealed a side of Crawford that many never saw, an alcoholic mother whose addiction drove her to violent outbursts. Even so, Joan's cinematic legacy lives on, and her talent remains respected, even as her personal life was marred by the consequences of her addiction. Yet, not all stories of addiction in Hollywood ended tragically. Stars like Anthony Hopkins, who struggled with alcoholism in his younger years, turned their lives around. Hopkins went on to become one of the greatest actors of his generation, sharing his journey with others to inspire those facing similar battles. His story serves as a beacon of hope for anyone grappling with addiction, proving that recovery is possible, even for those who've hit rock bottom. These stories, though sad, are an integral part of Hollywood's history. They remind us that fame and fortune don't protect anyone from the harsh realities of addiction, but they also serve as a reminder of the power of redemption, the possibility of change, and the need for continued awareness around the dangers of alcoholism in an industry that often glorifies excess. As we've seen throughout the stories of these legendary stars, the glitz and glamour of Hollywood can often be a facade hiding deeper struggles. Alcoholism, a battle that many stars faced in silence, remains one of the darkest truths behind the scenes. From Andre the Giant's excessive drinking that led to his untimely death, to the struggles of Joan Crawford and Robin Williams, the toll of addiction is both devastating and universal. These stars, with all their talent and fame, were not immune to the pressures that come with living in the public eye. Some succumbed to their demons, while others found redemption and fought back. Their stories, tragic, inspiring, and sometimes haunting, shed light on the hidden costs of fame and the importance of awareness and compassion. But beyond the stories of loss and struggle, there's hope. There's the possibility of recovery, the power of change, and the importance of supporting those who face addiction. Hollywood's legacy, though marred by the dark realities of alcohol abuse, can also serve as a beacon for those still fighting their own battles. As we reflect on these stories, we're reminded of the human side of the stars we admire. Their struggles don't diminish their contributions to the world of entertainment. Rather, they make their legacies more relatable, more real, and more meaningful. The next time we watch their films, let's remember not just their on-screen personas, but the people they were, flawed, struggling, and ultimately unforgettable.